Welcome to the WordPress for Toastmasters Webcast Replay Edition. We had some technical difficulties in the beginning, some technical difficulties at the end, and a few things that went wrong in between. Fortunately, in the world of video, I get to edit out some of my mistakes. To introduce myself, I'm David F. Carr. I am an area governor currently, past president, past VP of education. Also got drafted to be a sergeant of arms for a while. When I was VPE is actually when I started working on this software that you're going to be seeing. We've been using it for about 3 years at Club Awesome Toastmasters, and what I'm doing now is trying to offer it more broadly to more people. We'll begin with our webcast just as I'm getting some questions in from the text chat session. Asking in the chat window something. Does Toastmasters approve your package? Well, the website package that most clubs use is something called Free Toast Host. Now that's not officially a Toastmasters product either. It's just something that's been offered for free that they've been recommending for years. It was created by Toastmasters, so I'm doing essentially the same people, the creators of that software did. I just have a different approach to it. I am working with Toastmasters on checking out some of the branding issues. And somebody just told me the other day that supposedly the burgundy branded banner is only supposed to be for districts and above. I don't know whether that's true or not. In fact, I got a contact from the branding person saying we'll get back to you. They have some materials that seem to imply that that's the case, but they don't actually say that. So I have templates or designs that use some standard WordPress banners that are out in circulation. I use some standard elements from the branding portal, branding website. And I also have some designs where the banner is against a plain background, and according to the brand guidelines, that should be fine. So I would like to get maybe into the good graces, get the attention of the Toastmasters International people, and that's happening perhaps over time. I'm trying to get some people interested in my own district currently, District 47, which is South Florida and the Bahamas. So, yes, I started out a couple of years ago as a VP of Education. That was my first officer role, and we had the Free Toast Host product, and I was frustrated with some limitations of it, particularly the version 2.0 that they came out with, which seemed to be fancier but not necessarily an improvement in my opinion. I was already working with WordPress for other projects, and I missed the easy updating, or relatively easy updating, of web content and some of the social media integration features that I had there. So my idea was really to replicate a lot of the things that they were doing in Free Toast Host. Essentially the idea of allowing members to come in and sign up for meetings online and print out your meeting agenda from the website. I took those things and I plugged them into the WordPress platform. So my club, excuse me, I'm an area governor, so I'm not supposed to say my club, maybe my home club, but I'm overseeing a number of clubs these days. But my home club has been using the software that you're seeing here, or at least the core parts of it, for about 3 years. Just recently, I started offering this to other clubs in the region, asking them, would you like to try it out? I was originally thinking I might charge for it. I eventually figured out that the only price that would work for most Toastmasters clubs was free, or at least free to come in and try it out. And I'll talk about what the borders are free in a moment. But part of what's happened in the process of going from being something that was just used in my own club's website to being used a little bit more broadly or offered more broadly was I started talking with VPs of education and officials from other clubs. Sue Ness, who's on the line, is another area governor who had created a whole performance tracking package for her members in Microsoft Access, and she shared with me some of the designs which I've been trying to riff on and adapt into the web framework. So it's work in progress. Some of this stuff is actually very new, so you may see bugs in it if you come in and explore, but you can come in and explore for free. You can come in and set up a site to test and not necessarily make it your official website right away, but maybe invite a few members, a few officers in to kick the tires and decide whether it's something that makes sense for you. So free means ad supported in this context. Right now it's advertising my Social Collaboration for Dummies book. I expect that in the future I'll probably be accepting some ads from people who have written books about public speaking or have some program for public speaking or leadership. I'm trying to keep them relatively unobtrusive in the sidebar, and you'll see that when we get into the designs. And I should explain that there are a couple of different flavors of what I mean when I say WordPress. WordPress is open source software that anyone can get and install on their own website and modify and create plugins for and create custom designs for. The company behind WordPress also operates a site called WordPress.com where you can sign up for free. You can use the templates that they have approved. You can use the plugins that they have approved. And you get a similar sort of thing where it's mysite.wordpress.com instead of an independent domain. So I'm doing something similar. It's these brand designs that are specific to Toastmasters that I'm offering. It's the software that I've developed to work with them. And right now the software is not available as open source software. It's not available for use anywhere else. It's only built into this package. That may change, but I am looking to find some way of making this operation self-supporting at the same time. One of the upgrades that would be available would be to upgrade to hosting at your own domain, and some organizations might have other more custom requirements. One of the things I haven't done yet is develop a version of this to work for districts. So if a district wanted me to work with them, I might ask for them to throw a few dollars my way. Basic design principles here are don't event software that already exists. The free Toast host, and I shouldn't be mean to those folks. They've done a nice thing. They've offered a free service. They're Toastmasters. They've got their hearts in the right place, but they've basically invented their own system for managing web content. I'm building on something on top of something that already exists and that is being improved on a continual basis. I want to provide design freedom. We can have Toastmasters branding, but we should also have some freedom to choose colors, certainly choose what else is going to be featured on the page and in what order, and what the names of the pages should be, so on and so forth. Promote self-service. This is the concept of allowing members to come in and sign up for their own roles. And also, particularly as we're getting into this concept of performance reporting, giving you reports on where people are on their progress toward competent communicator and so forth, we want to avoid redundant data sign-ups, redundant data entry. Even our own club VPE had been taking all this data, I think taking the marked up agendas and entering information into Excel. I'm trying to make it so that she doesn't have to do that, and Sue Ness, who inspired a number of these ideas, doesn't have to do that, and lots of other people won't be able to do that. They'll be able to have it all in one platform. And also, we want to make multiple media work together. Web, I added mobile. Some of these designs are fairly flexible. I have used them on my phone or on my iPad. But also making the web medium work together with email, having reminders, having a way of going out to people and saying, here are the roles we need filled, and here's how you can fill them in online. And I never want to do manually something that automation can do as well or better. And one of those things that we've experimented with is having automated email reminders. So if you've signed up to be Toastmaster of the Day, or you've signed up to speak on Friday, on Wednesday you get a reminder saying you're on the list to speak. If for some reason you can't speak, here's the contact information of the Toastmaster of the Day. You can email them back or you can call them up, but let them know if for some reason things have changed. So this is part of how we're trying to keep people on track. And here is some of my contact information for follow-up. And part of what I'm trying to encourage you to do is to come over to wpfortoastmasters.com and go down to that link that says Request Website, fill out the form, and within a day or so, I should have you set up with something that you can experiment with. And let me know whether you like it. So we're going to get out of the slides and go into one of these websites. So this is the demo site that I've set up. So it's demo.wpfortoastmasters.com. Here I am coming in as a member who is all excited, all fired up, and wants to speak. I can go to the calendar page and I can browse this. Any member of the public can browse this. If I want to sign up for things, I need to click on this button here, or also under where it says Member Access, sign up for a meeting. And for demo purposes, I'm going to sign in not as the all-powerful administrator, but as a member. And I can sign up to be Toastmaster of the Day. And once I sign up to be Toastmaster of the Day, of course, it's now my responsibility to fill this agenda. I see there's some open slots here. So I get on the phone, I get on email, I get some text messages back, and now I have a few people to add, so I can go in and edit the signups. And it turns out Andrew Jackson also wants to speak. And Abe's got a head cold. He's not going to make it this time. It's too bad. So we'll put George Washington instead. And we can post changes. So the week goes on. Hopefully I fill out my agenda more. I might also want to print out a sign-up sheet. So, whoa, this looks pretty empty. If people had signed up online, the blanks would already be filled in. But this one looks pretty empty. But I can print this and bring it to the meeting on the 21st. And also go out, and this is the email integration I talked about. So, I'm not actually going to do this, but if I click send, this will go out to a mailing list of all the people who are in our member database, who are registered as users on the site. And actually, if you remember the older version of Free Toast Host, it had a feature like this. I don't know whether the new version does. And as meeting day comes up, I can print the agenda directly from the website. Also, sometimes you have a few tweaks that you want to make to the agenda. Maybe you want to have a note on it. You want to print it on fancy stationery. I don't know what you want to do, but I can also export this to Word. Hopefully this is going to work. Yeah. Okay. So now I can customize this further. That image of the logo should load in a minute, but we're not going to stick around and wait for it. So after the meeting, and this is one of the new parts. Oh, let's see, wait a minute. Sorry, I forgot that I'm Joe Member. I was about to go in and do officer level stuff. But as Joe Member, we should look at the backstage area here, the logged in members dashboard. And as a member, I only have a few options that I can see here, but I can edit my member profile. I can see the member profile. I can print out a contacts list or print the sign-up sheet. Edit my own profile, which is an important thing. We want people to come in and update their information. Make sure that we have all these preferences up there, but particularly we want to make sure that we have people's correct phone number. And there's also something where you can add your picture. That's actually not my whimsy. Somebody else came in and added the clown man here. So I'll log out of this. All right, we're going to come back in as the all-powerful administrator. So the options you're seeing here, we have a quite a bit more involved menu structure here. But the things I'm going to show you would be available to a site administrator. They would also be available to an officer. So we have this whole menu here under Toastmasters report. One of the main things we want to do after the meeting is reconcile our information to bring it into reality of who actually showed up. I've got Abe Lincoln down as humorous. He actually didn't show up last week either. This was our humorist. And Martha Jones jumped in to be a speaker at the last minute. I can check off who did table topics at this particular meeting, and I'll save the changes. And I also have the opportunity to do attendance. Now, everybody who filled a role is already filled in as having obviously attended the meeting if they filled the role and we've made our corrections, but we can also add to that list and save our changes. And the point of that activity is to make sure that we have accurate records for our competent communicator report, even our attendance report to see who's been showing up regularly. Who's been making good progress towards competent leader. And we've been playing with the visualization of this, but the idea is to show you what projects are done and where the gaps are in this series of things to do. If you're coming into this and you've been tracking this information in some other way, you would come over to this Edit Member Stats screen. This is after you've imported your members, and everything would be zeros. You would start filling in information. You'd also use this screen to make corrections in general, or to record things that happen outside the meeting, like progress towards different CL projects. We've got to record our changes, and our information will now be that much more up to date. I also have a mentor screen. I just added this the other day. I don't think anything's going to be filled in here. So yeah, nobody has a mentor yet, but we could edit that and start to fill in who is mentoring who. As for how we get members into the system in the first place, it's under the Users menu. If you go to Add New User, which is the standard WordPress screen, you'll actually see a little notice saying please use the Add Member form instead. If you want to capture some information that's not on the standard user form. So we would put in their contact information, we put in their Toastmasters ID, or this is a nifty trick, if I do say so myself, we can download the spreadsheet from Toastmasters.org of our members. You open it up in Excel, you copy and paste into this blank, and everybody gets an email inviting them to the site with a default password. So that's a way of speeding things up. Now, Toastmasters.org is in the middle of redesigning its website, so maybe some of the ways that they spit out this data will change and these features will break, but I will do my best to stay on top of them. So I did this kind of out of order. I wanted to show you, first of all, where this all began. Club Awesome. I am very proud of this club. We are Distinguished President's Club every year after year. I'm not saying that the website is the cause of that. I would like to think that the website helps along the way a little bit. And in fact, I want to brag a little bit right now that one of our members did well in a humorous speech contest, and as a logged in member, again, this would be available to the site admin or as an officer, I have new available at the top. I could go to new post, which would be new blog post. I actually cheated a little bit and started a draft of one. But one of the things I wanted to show you that I think is really nifty, they've actually improved this in recent versions of WordPress, is I can highlight a word, like in a WordPresser, to bold it or make it italic. One thing that you don't have in a WordPress processor typically is this little chain link icon, which is for adding a link. But in this case, I'm actually not going to add a link to the YouTube video. I want it to appear right in the page. And when I paste in that web address, WordPress is smart enough to figure out that that is YouTube content, and it inserts this little embedded video player. I can publish that. And I can view it on the website. So this is one of the things that I think makes, it's really the WordPress site. It's the software code that I had nothing to do with, that I just take advantage of, that makes this valuable, that allows me to regularly update the club website. Now, if you know anything about search engine optimization, Google likes and I should mention Bing and others too, but Google likes websites that are updated frequently. And so if you can make it easier to keep your site up to date and to post new content on a regular basis, your search engine rankings will tend to naturally rise. We do also have Facebook integration built in here. These little buttons down the bottom make it easy for me to cross-promote this on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and others. And in general, WordPress content will preview better. Usually when you paste in a link, you want it to automatically generate a little preview on Facebook. So this works also. Copy and paste in a link. And with luck we will get a little preview down here. Okay?